In this video, I would like to show you how I plan to change the Miller's post that shows us the team sheets in this way into another method whereby we don't have to edit this page, but rather make a change on a spreadsheet on Google, in the Google Cloud, to be able to try and do that a little bit easier. Right, now I have created something on the practice page. So if I go to the practice article page, I created this team sheets article. If I click on that, it opens the article, and that is how the new look of the Miller's post. You can see that it looks very similar to the way it looks there. It has got 6 columns. We can't really fit in more than 6 columns, but it's got 6 columns over there, which is the same that we had in the Miller's post. We had 6 columns there. But this is a sheet that is updated in the Google Cloud and just displayed on the website automatically. Now you will notice that this sheet has got the team selection, but it also has other tabs. So there are, instead of displaying the team selections like this, there are other ways to do that as well. So we need to weigh up the advantages and disadvantages of the different ways of doing it. Now, instead of showing all the selections on one page, we could show each selection on its own page. In other words, in its own tab in a spreadsheet, like so. You will notice that if I go down just a little bit, that is the match for the 22nd of July, which is the league match that will be played. That is the match, the friendly match on the 23rd of July, and there's the selection of people, and that's for the 24th of July. They're all different, and that's for the 25th of July. This is real information as I have just copied it from the Miller's Post page. Now, coming back to the team selection here, the next thing that we can do is we can actually go onto Google and have a look and see how it is done. The way to do that is to click on an update link, which will not be visible to anyone but to the administrator that will set up the sheets. So clicking on the update link will take us to the Google Sheet, opens a new tab on the browser. It'll take us to the Google Sheet, which of course have the same tabs as you have seen on the website. So clicking on the team selections sheet at the bottom, you will see that that information is what is displayed there. So that is updated very automatically. You don't have to update the website at all. You just update this sheet. Now, looking at the sheet, a few things, just an overview of our environment here. You can see that there is a menu, and then there are certain tools which are related to these tabs here, or that is just quick links, I would say, but there is the menu that you could use to update things, but you will hardly use any of that stuff. You can hide that menu by clicking on that little button, on that little arrowhead, which will hide that, and it'll give you a little bit more space to work in. To show it again, just click on the button again and it'll show it to you again. The other thing to notice is that the font on here is a little bit smaller than the font that you see here. but it is not a problem. The fonts should not be changed. It should always be Verdana, and everything should be in 10 pixels. Don't change that. If you change it here, then it'll change it on the website, and things will not work out very well, for that matter. If this is a bit too small to work with, we can always zoom in by clicking on that little button there and zoom in to 150%, which gives you a nice big view of what we are talking about. Now, one thing about the Google Sheet is you never have to worry about making any changes or saving any changes you make. Every change you make saves automatically. For instance, there you can see that the last edit was 9 minutes ago when I worked with it then, and it was saved then. So it keeps on telling you when your last edit was, and that edit is saved as soon as the edit is made. So never have to care about saving your information. Also, at the same time, whatever changes you make on this sheet is displayed automatically on the website, even though it may take up to 5 minutes before the update is done on the website. So there's a cycle of 5 minutes in which the updates are done. Now let's look at this sheet. This sheet consists of 6 columns that I prepared. We shouldn't add any more columns. If you create a new match selection, you should be able to copy and paste from here to the new columns. For instance, let's say the next match is going to be a league match. When you click on league match, you press on your keyboard Ctrl+C, that copies it. Click where you want to paste it to and you press Ctrl+V, and that'll paste it in. Now you will notice when you do that, it keeps the same formatting that you have used. And of course, you can again click on 4 rings, press Ctrl+C, you can go to the new cell, press Ctrl+V, and it'll paste things in. You will notice that when we work with a date line, they are all in the same line. It is because I formatted them so that they work very similarly to Excel. Now, in this case, let's say that the league game will be on the 29th of July. You simply type 29 Jul. If you press enter, it'll put in the day and the date of that day. Another example, if this is on the 1st of August, you type in 1 Aug, press enter, and it'll automatically tell you what day it is and put the date in there. It makes typing much quicker. Now, simply to empty a cell, like on Excel, you simply select the cell, you press delete on your keyboard, and it is deleted. You can do the same there. Now again, 29 Jul, put it in there. And of course, you know that you're going to play the match at that time, so Ctrl+C when you select that cell, go to the cell where you want to paste it, Ctrl+V will paste it back in there. That's how simple it is. Now, in this specific cell, what I've done is I've given you a list to choose from. So you can simply click on the cell. It'll tell you grays or whites. You're only playing grays or whites. If you're playing something else, we can add something else to it. In this case, you'll just select grays. And then who you play against. Let's say you will play against Kidlington. Ctrl+C. I'm just guessing. I don't want to type. I just want to copy and paste. But you can type as well. So I'm now typing versus full stop as you have and Kidlington. So you can do it that way, and you can see that I've used lowercase letters. If I press the caps lock button, then it'll look very much the same as the rest of it. Also, in this field, I've given you a selection that you can make it. You either play home or you play away. So in this case, last time you played away, so we'll play home this time. And then who's going to be the captain? Maybe the same person, and you can put them there. And then you may decide that the same team that played there is also going to play on this day. So you select the whole team, press Ctrl C. Selecting, so by the way, is you click on the first name, hold the button in, and drag it down. You can now see how you selected all the names together. You press Ctrl C, put it in the first cell where you want to paste it to. You press Ctrl V, and it puts the team in. And this is how easy it would be to create a new match. Of course, if you are now finished with that match, you can simply click on A. Maybe you don't want to do that, but you can simply click on A and then press delete, and it'll clear the whole column for you. If you made a mistake and you want to go back, then that is the button to undo anything that you have changed, and to redo if you have undid it. So if you want to undo the last change, just click on that little back arrow and it undoes it for you. Good, so this is how you would change this sheet. There is not a lot more I can say about it. Of course, the only thing that I can say is, as you fill up the whole sheet, hopefully by the time you get to the last column, then you have played some of these matches, so you can clear them out and then start all over again. It does mean that the date will go a little bit out of sequence. That may be the 1st of August, and that will be the 3rd of August, the 5th of August, etc. So, but eventually, if people just pay attention to that, I think you do exactly the same thing on the Miller's post page as well, in any case. Okay, but for me, a better way to do the team selections would be to do it one tab for one match. Now you will notice that I have modeled this spreadsheet, this page, on the Word document that you have sent me. So it's got the logo, it's got Whitney Mills, it has all the information about the match on that side. On the left, it gives you the team that you selected. You can see that I provided 24 rows for that, and I've also provided space to put in reserves. I'm sure you will never put in more than 7 reserves, but that is what you have there. When you create a selection for a new match, for another match, then you must create a new tab. Like I've done there. There is another tab for another match, and then there is another tab for another match, and there is the tab for the 25th for the last match. Now, if you, in this case, if your next match is going to be a match for a league match, then what you should do is you should click on your previous league match. On the tab, hold the cursor over the tab, click with the right-hand mouse button. A menu will pop up, and you can now duplicate that page. So what it does is, there is the one that I duplicated, so you now have a copy of the same page. So if your next match is going to be played on the 29th of June, what I would do, or July rather, what I would do is I would double click on the name on the tab, double click, you see that it selected it. Now I would use my arrow keys on my keyboard, move to the left and delete the word copy of, and then go over the 2, delete that 2, change it to 9, which means that that is a match that will be played on the 29th of July, and that will be an OBL match. So now that you've done that, click anywhere outside that, anywhere on the spreadsheet, and you have your new team sheet. Now, to put it in sequence, all you do is hover the mouse cursor over the tab, over the name on the tab, click your mouse, hold it in, you see your cursor changes to something new, and you can drag it over to the right. In that way, you can keep the sequence of your sheets intact. So now you will see that you are still in date sequence. Now that you've done that, you may delete the old match that you've already played. But let's say you want to keep it there just for a while longer. Let's just concentrate on this match at the moment. Now, you will notice that everything that you've seen there will, of course, be here. Let's assume the same list of people will play in that match, and all this information remains the same, but you're going to play against Kidlington. So we're going to play against Kidlington, and we're going to play home. I'm just typing it in, and the date, of course, double click on that. When I double click on that, see how that a date, a calendar popped up. So you can simply click on the date, which is the 29th of July, and it updates it automatically. Now notice that we didn't copy and paste anything from any document outside of Google, because if you do, then things will be messed up a little bit there again. So best is to copy from other sheets to a new sheet, or type this stuff in. Copying it from a Word document is going to be a problem. Now, the idea about this is that you will replace the Word document altogether. You will never have to work with a Word document again. But now you're going to ask me, so how do I email this to people? Well, it is pretty simple, really. So, you have a button there that you can press and you can print this sheet. Now let's just have a look and see how that works. I'm clicking on the button. It opens a print screen for us, as you can see. The orientation of the page is wrong, so it is set as landscape. If we change that to portrait, now that would look much more like the Word document that you had. Click on Next, and that will come up with the print window for you. So this is my printer. So if I click on print now, my printer should print out exactly that image. Stick it on the notice board, put it in an envelope and post it to people. Of course, I have the functionality where I can save it as a PDF. Hopefully you have that as well. So you can, instead of printing it physically, or after you print it physically, you can also save it as a PDF. Hopefully you can do that, and that will save as a PDF, which you can then email to people. You must just make sure you know where it saves it to. And that's how simple this would be to replace the Word document that you used in the past. Well, I am quite sure that I didn't cover everything that there is to be said about this, but I hope this video gives you a little preview of what you can expect if you change away from the current way of doing things on the Miller's Post to a new way of doing these selections in a lot easier fashion, I am quite sure, and never have the problem of jumbled information on the web page again. I hope this helps. I'm just going to cancel out of this and come back to this. All you have to do is you have to choose, do you want to go ahead with this way of doing things? And of course, then you still will have to do your Word document and work from there. But pasting from your Word document to this sheet may also present some problems. If you want to go this way and use this to replace your Word document, let me know and I will set it up. Of course, the other last option is to do what we do currently on the Miller's Post at the moment. Just let me know what you think. Thank you for watching this video.